back to the final match now of Week 3 here in the WGL APAC Season 2. We've got one more. It is Meltdown versus B Gaming. What should be really a good game, although, given the performance that we've seen so far from B Gaming this season, it's hard to say this one is actually going to be all that close.
Very hard to say. Very hard to call this one as a close match for that exact reason you've just said there, Jordan. Obviously, we saw Meltdown play yesterday against the Dark Wolves, and that was a ruffle stomp.
Yep.
I think 5-0 to Meltdown. They really just looked way stronger than the Dark Wolves there, and if they can keep up that form coming into today's match, then they're going to be set to beat B Gaming by a large margin.
Absolutely. You know, B Gaming yesterday, we saw them up against Coalition Zoo. They didn't have the greatest of times, so I'm not so sure about this one here for them, to be honest. You know, I've already predicted, I've said I thought it was going to be a 5-3, but my thought process behind that was they were going to have a good match against Dark Wolves, they were going to have a good match against Coalition Zoo. They were going to come into this one with a bit of momentum and have a bit of a better time. But now that I've seen the way they played against Coalition Zoo, I'm thinking I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards to what you and Max have predicted for this one. Yeah,
you reckon? Well, obviously, I'm just taking a look down at my original prediction that I made down there. I am predicting a 5-1-2 Meltdown. I don't think it's going to go any further, to be honest. Like, Meltdown, they look back on the usual form yesterday. We saw Vice Tone pulling in some big shots. Mr. Batchat, of course. Pink Pig, he's been really one to look out for on the Meltdown roster because, you know, he's just been hitting damage, top damage after top damage after top damage in series after series. So 5-1, that's my prediction.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. We'll have to wait and see what map pool we're going to be seeing coming out from this one. But I got to say, when I look at the maps, really the only one that I could say maybe is going to be a bit of a better time for B Gaming is possibly Prokhorovka. But then again, they didn't look all that fantastic on it yesterday against Coalition Zoo anyway.
It wasn't flash for them, Prokhorovka. No. Yeah, I think Meltdown are actually quite good on Prokhorovka anyway. So when you say that, I mean, I'm almost worrying that my 5-1 prediction is going to be a little bit of trouble. But anyways, guys, let's take a look at the lineup of Meltdown as it is in this new season.
Yeah, a lot of changes to this roster from last season. They were the second place team after the regular season of last season, ended up in sort of 3rd/4th after the finals playoffs, but in the end, you know, pretty good result. They have had a lot of changes, as I mentioned, though, and are struggling a little bit still this season, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not been quite so good as last season for the Meltdown guys, and if they do want to be up the top at the end of the season, and if they do want to head towards any season finals, then they're going to have to up their games. So let's take a look at their opponents now. The struggling B Gaming, who is currently sitting in the 6th position of the ladder, and they're really clinging to that spot, if at all. But they do have a fairly solid lineup. We know that these guys can play tanks, Jordan. The issue is that recently just haven't been playing it very well.
Yeah, and this is a team that we sort of touted coming into this one as looking like one of the teams that could really be one of the top contending teams. You know, we thought they were going to be 2nd or 3rd on the ladder, and at the moment, as you can see, sitting in 6th, their attack win-loss ratio and defense win-loss ratio is not looking all that fantastic.
Yeah, it's not looking great. So let's take a look at our head-to-head matchup now, and it is going to be between the one, the only, the Pink Pig and Usa Shan Power. Pink Pig and, well, both of them really, both top damage dealers in the league. Usa Shan Power actually leading the entire league in average damage dealt at the moment.
Yep.
2.4k per game. And
Pink Pig is 4th as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Pink Pig's not far behind.
Very close together. 2.1k for Pink Pig, 2.4k or so for Shan Power. Very, very good for both of these guys. And, you know, obviously they're firing a lot of shells per round. They're hitting a lot of shells, penetrating a lot of shells, and dealing a lot of damage. Even 0.92 average destroyed per battle is quite a lot.
That's pretty big.
Nearly a tank every round for Pink Pig to be taking out. So, you know, both very, very key, important players for their team.
Absolutely. And, I mean, it's interesting that Usa Shan Power and Pink Pig, they're both in the top 5 damage dealers in the season so far, but with a 12% difference in accuracy like we just saw there. Usa Shan Power, he obviously fires more shots.
Yeah. Usa Shan Power, he's always tending to be in a grill more so than Pink Pig, I feel. So he's getting, you know, obviously the grill's very, very accurate tank. Therefore, maybe you could argue it might be a little easier for him to get those shots across.
Potentially, who knows? But the grill, of course, is the most accurate tank in the league with a less than 0.3 meters per 100 meters.
Is it the STRV now, though? in Siege mode.
Actually, you're not wrong. Yeah, of course, the STRV. Although I think the STRV is equally accurate.
I think it might be slightly better in
Maybe
Siege
slightly
mode.
better. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I'm not
wasn't. I know it's a very accurate tank
It
in
is.
Siege mode, that's for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, well, there you go. Another reason why the STRV is such a strong tank and such a strong pick so far this season, now that it has been introduced, we're seeing it more and more. We're seeing the Kranwagen more and more.
Yep.
There's lots of tanks that these guys are going with that, well, they're new to the league and they're doing well. I think the Kranwagen so far, it's completely overtaken the T57 Heavy in terms of its general usage scenario. For a hull-down, auto-loading heavy tank, we do see that picked more often than not.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing the Kranwagen pretty much nearly every round. Like most of the time, we will see one Kranwagen from at least one team. I'm struggling to actually think of a map where we don't see the Kranwagen come out.
Yeah, I'm struggling as well.
Maybe
It does-
Rurenberg is probably the least popular for the Kranwagen.
Yeah, we don't see it too often in Rurenberg, if so, only one. But let's take a look at what vetoes we've got in place, Jordan.
Speaking of Rurenberg, it is the first map picked there by Meltdown.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit surprising. Again, we saw them play it yesterday, I think, against Dark Wolves, and it worked out quite nicely for them, but that was against Dark Wolves. You know, overall, it hasn't been the greatest of maps for them. I'm surprised not to see something like, you know, maybe a Mines pick here from the Meltdown guys. They have had a pretty decent run on Mines. Maybe they're still a little bit scared of the Season 1 B Gaming, which was very good on Mines.
Yeah, B Gaming originally in Season 1, they were the Mines team. They could beat EL Gaming on Mines with no trouble at all. So, look, that could work here. But let's take a look at the next maps. We've got Prokhorovka picked by B Gaming.
Yep.
Like that, obviously.
Don't mind that.
They're pretty
Yep.
solid. We've got a veto out of Cliff. B Gaming had Cliff. Steps. Meltdown, I think they can play Steps, but maybe just not wanting to play it tonight. Himmelsdorf and Mines being the last picks there. And B Gaming and Meltdown, they're both familiar on Himmelsdorf. I don't think those last picks are really going to give the game away in any particular matter. But there we go. That is our map lineup for today. Rurenberg, Proc, Himmelsdorf, Mines, followed by a tiebreaker of Steps, which we haven't had the well, luck to see today, I guess.
No, not yet. And I don't suspect that this one is going to give us that option. Really.
Not feeling
No,
not feeling a
I'm not feeling it. I think Meltdown should be able to be, you know, pretty happy with this map pool. You know, it's not as good as I think it could have been for them. I don't think letting Prokhorovka through against B Gaming was the best of ideas. Rurenberg, I think they should definitely need to 2-0 that one. Prokhorovka, I can see probably being a 1-1 with things going 1-1 on Himmelsdorf and then getting cleaned up on Mine. So I think we are in for, you know, a 5-2, 5-3 maybe here now that I've seen the map picks, but I think it's really down to whether or not Meltdown shows up in this one. B Gaming, for me, haven't shown enough to really predict too much for them.
Yeah, I would say so as well. So, well, I guess there's one way to find out. Maybe B Gaming will overthrow all of our predictions and come up with a complete turnaround win against Meltdown. There's only one way to find out, and that is by jumping in and thinking about the tank picks first up on our first map. Jordan, what do you think, what are you expecting, I guess, to see here?
Well, Meltdown have shown already that they're very keen to go for those block strategies on Rurenberg. We've seen it a couple of times from them so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a CDC or even a mouse coming out from them, try and get on towards that one flag and, you know, cause a bit of havoc maybe for the defenders. So that's a possibility for me. Otherwise, you know, if they don't go for that, it's probably just going to be pretty standard. We won't see too many super heavy tank destroyers or super heavy tanks really from them at all. I think it'll just be the Bat Chads, the 113s, the IS-7s, maybe even here on Rurenberg.
Yeah, I like that. And the only kind of curveball which potentially we could see from Meltdown here is, yeah, that FE4005, maybe T110E3, very off chance as well, like we were saying. But we'll just have to wait and see what these teams do end up locking in here. I think B Gaming, not really a team to go too crazy, apart from the Mousers, which they do like to do as well.
Yeah, I can definitely see a couple of Mousers coming out here for B Gaming, especially if they're on the attack to start things off.
Even Meltdown.
Yeah.
Meltdown, they've used the Mousers before in Rurenberg. They can use them again. It's a very solid tank, very high win rate, over 60% so far in WGL APAC this season, and it's been picked a fair bit. So, good reason to pick it some more. On Rurenberg, you can jump into the Mouse, you can sit two of them, maybe even three of them in the kind of 2 flag area, but...
Okay, I've just been told that Prokhorov was actually the first map here, Alex.
Oh, that changes things up a little bit. That changes things up a little bit. But yeah, Prokhorovka first. I think we're going to be seeing something a little bit different. We're not going to be seeing any Mouses on Prokhorovka, I don't think.
Hopefully not.
Well, hopefully not exactly. But maybe an S-Tank or a Kranwagen here.
We've seen Meltdown using the S-Tank. Wouldn't be surprised to see them pick that one up. B Gaming maybe a little less likely, I feel, between the two. But I guess we're about to find out relatively shortly because the tank picks will be on a bit of sec.
Absolutely. Well, let's think about those ones and have a look as we do end up seeing, yep, S-Tank, Kranwagen picked there by our friends from Meltdown. And B Gaming, they're going to be responding with a couple of 113s and the grill. Potentially Yusashan Power playing in that one. But overall, pretty solid, pretty standard lineups from Meltdown and B Gaming. I like the S-Tank addition there to Meltdown's lineup.
Yep, and B Gaming with the Grill 15. That'll more than likely be Yusashan Power taking that one away. So double 113 strategy, it doesn't really give much away. It's not like you can think, you look at this sort of a setup and be like, okay, we know exactly where they're going. It is a very versatile sort of a lineup. So we'll have to find out which side of the map they are going to be going towards. And just from the initial sort of rollout, looks like it's probably going to be the one flag side.
Probably. It's seeming like that. So Pang Pang is going to potentially meet Muller up the top here. Muller, of course, in that RU251 as well. And fun fact for everyone, the RU251... Oh, no! Well, hold that thought as Yusashan Power has just got a massive, massive snipe onto Pang Pang. But, yeah, what I was about to say is that the RU251, it was actually a secret project in the Cold War. It was so secret that it never actually even entered service until... once the Cold War was finished, essentially. So it was a top secret German tank, the Sparpanzer, and obviously designed to scout, designed to replace some of the old American tanks that the Germans were using at the time.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, maybe we might as well jump on board with the guys on Meltdown as they try and figure out what B Gaming are doing on this attacking side.
STLB 거기 있을 때까지.
나이스.
내려가 본다.
준호카 나왔어.
크란바겐 빼요.
야 이쪽이 뭔지 몰라도 블라 떨어졌다. 여기
바샤,
저쪽에서
바샤.
쏜 것 같아. 가운데다.
나 스팟댐. 나 다 스팟댐. 이거 바샤트 다 스팟댐다. 이거 위에 조심, 위에
씨발.
조심. 위에 조심.
쟤 세 발 썼다.
아.
근데 타키 잡아도 돼. 상관없어.
근데 전부
아
다
이거 어딘지 여기 어딘지 모르자. 이거 루가 훑어줘. 이거 훑어줘.
하고 있어.
나갈까? 말까? 어떻게 할까?
아니야.
네, 딱 붙어서
걔네들 다 저쪽으로 붙는다, 저쪽으로.
1-3.
타키 한 방 이쪽 봐봐. 타키 좀 못 보냐?
이득 볼 수 있어.
걔도
오케이, 나이스.
바지?
이거 안 맞지? 아야.
빼. 장장.
야
위쪽 커버가.
오케이, 양호.
빨리 위쪽 커버가.
나 여기 남는다.
야, 아래쪽에 나 혼자 남아있을게.
오케이. 혼자 남아 있고 나머지 위쪽 커버가.
중앙 먹어줘,
오케이.
중앙.
확인. 프리 피 없으니까 뒤에서 백업해라.
오케이.
STRB 나 들킨 거 아닌데 샷으로 루 맞춰서 들켰다 나.
상관없어. 너 안 들켰는데.
스트랍은 상관없어.
일단 이대로
1-3 뺀다.
다 마지막에 보여줘.
Well, a little bit of an interesting passage of play there for B Gaming. Taki, probably a little bit lucky to survive there, but he's somewhat worse for wear. You can see he's taken a shot to the ammo rack, so his reload's going to certainly be taking a little bit longer there, as well as a couple of other module damages to boot.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Mr. Taki there, and I'm not too sure how he managed to survive. Got a few lucky ricochets off in there that kept his tank intact. But we are going to be seeing Pink Pig in that Kranwagen, getting a few shots off on towards Til Matil in the meantime, and seeing Meltdown opt for a very aggressive defensive lineup here.
Aggressive defensive lineup, hey?
Yeah, well, they're on the defense, and they're playing quite aggressively, so...
Yeah. But I think B Gaming have got into the position that they kind of would have wanted to. Yusashan Power, he always finds himself in this kind of a spot in the Grill 15, so he'll be quite content with where he is at the moment. And it just comes down to the rest of the B Gaming guys to force a bit of a bait, so to speak. B Gaming need to get Meltdown to come over those tracks and walk into the firing line of Yusashan Power.
Exactly. So, B Gaming here. They're not in a bad spot, apart from Taki. Going to be getting themselves on towards that one flag, probably putting a 113 down there. Pink Pig is in a good position in that Kranwagen to get any cap resets off, and that's why, you know, the Kranwagen is just such a good tank for this. It can poke up above the hill, get some great shots, and nothing's going to be able to touch it. You know, we see Ricochet doing that, and see you later, Ricochet. So, it's looking like Kranwagen there, Pink Pig. A few more shots across. Momo, 7 actually, almost going through Ricochet, apart from the fact that he hit the turret. So that one was another Ricochet. The 113's turret, very, very strong, of course. For those that may not know. That's why it's an excellent hull down tank with approximately, oh, what is it in the 113? I think it's about 290 mils of frontal turret armor from memory.
Yeah, well, it's been put to good use there. Rikku-san bouncing another shell, but that one is just going to go into the side of his tank. Looks like he's trying even to push forward here, but this is not a fight that he wants to take. He will always lose that kind of a fight against a Kranwagen. He just doesn't have the gun depression to be dealing with a ridge like that. The 113 doesn't have the best of gun depressions, and well, we know the Kranwagen is very famous for that. So definitely think that this is a bit of a dicey situation, so to speak, for Rikku-san.
Yes, quite dicey indeed. So it's looking like right now I'm going to be seeing that cap started off by Til Matil in that 113. Ricochet still kind of playing with fire there. Oh, good shot from the grill of Yusa Shan Power, putting a bit of damage on the board there. Pink Pig has to be careful now. Oh, another shot going into his tracks, but look at this in the meantime. Down south, it's looking like Meltdown. They've had enough of this. They're pushing in with all of their bat chats.
Well, here comes Pang Pang charging forward in the RU-251 as well. He's got no fear, even though he's on 95 HP. He does get taken down by Happiness, and it's a trade for the RU-251s going down for each side. Meltdown and B Gaming still pretty even at the moment, even in terms of HP.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking very, very close indeed. And the issue here for B Gaming, oh yeah, the grill might get caught out soon.
No, but Pathfinder, he needs to pick up Happiness here. He had a full clip available. The grill has been spotted out as well. Someone track that guy is probably what's going down in the comms there. And in the end, he does get tracked. He does get taken down. A good little push there from Meltdown. Overall, even though they've lost a couple of tanks, I think it's probably a pretty even trade. Pink Pig actually managed to survive there because he got some backup from Meltdown. From Momo, sorry, for Meltdown, and it's just 2 versus 5 now. I think this one is all wrapped up quite safely for Meltdown.
Yeah, that's should be a pretty clean win there for Meltdown. Just have to eliminate the remaining 2 members. Look, Shinozaka, he's going to be able to put up a fight, but with Vicetone, Mr. Batchat himself still on full HP and almost with a full clip left in the Batchat. Once he gets that one reloaded, he should have no troubles cleaning out these remaining 2 members of B Gaming, particularly with Taki's damaged ammo rack, damaged loader, I think, and those damaged tracks.
Shinozaka able to take down Blast, at least a bit of a consolation prize there for B Gaming, but full HP Batchat of Vicetone. Cry with enough HP to survive a couple of shells shouldn't be too big of a difficulty for these remaining Meltdown players to take down B Gaming. And one thing that's nice here for Meltdown is that Vicetone's still alive, he's still on full HP, so I wonder how much damage he's managed to put out tonight.
Yeah, it should be a quite a high amount, and this is the sort of Vicetone that we're used to seeing. Vicetone, he loves being alive at the end of the battles. Whenever he is, he's often up on the top of the scoreboard, just been peppering out damage from far away. So, Shinozaka here, he's not long for this world. We should be able to see Meltdown clean up this first half here on Prokhorovka. Look, they did go down to 2 minutes, so Shinozaka here is going to be proxy spotted by Vicetone and taken out.
I was going to say I would love to have seen a ram there, but Vicetone ending that dream before it even began.
Dream is over. Bit of a shame. But anyways, Meltdown with a pretty clean win. I like that push with the Batchats down in towards B Gaming when they were kind of no resting on their laurels a little bit in those defensive positions and trying to hold those without actually guarding out that southern area of the railway. They had no defense against Meltdown's push there. There was only about 3 B Gaming tanks that could fire upon those Meltdown crosses when they made that happen. So yeah.
I think part of the issue there for B Gaming is that they weren't really able to get Yusa Shan Power involved in that fight, and typically he's such a key part of their offensive side on Prokhorovka. And if he's not doing the damage in that Grill 15, you know, then who is really doing the damage for B Gaming? Because we know he's the top damage dealer overall for B Gaming. He's the top damage dealer overall for the league. So if he's not being involved in the fight, that's a big lack in damage for B Gaming.
Yeah, Absolutely. So uses Shan Power there. I'm sure he won't be on the top of the scoreboard, unlike usual. And whenever Shan doesn't get on top, well, that's always a big concern to B Gaming because they rely on him. They really do to effectively get most of the damage out, or the majority of the damage out for a single tank in these battles. And not being able to do that in the Grill 15, never a good result for B Gaming.
No, definitely not. Well, they've lost the first round there on Prokhorovka. It is actually their pick, so, you know, not going to be too bothered. Is Meltdown, of course. They've had a pretty good time. So let's have a look at the replays here for that one as we kind of consider how things are going to go here in the second half for B Gaming.
Yeah, Pang here, he took a amazing shot from Shan Power. I don't know how Shan hit that, but he did. So well played. But then Shan just getting taken out here fairly easily from the guys on Meltdown. And there we go. He was actually on top at the end of that Shan, even
nice,
after
even
all
3,000 HP worth of damage dealt.
Somehow he manages just to stay on top of the damage dealt, and I'm not sure how, but well, he's managed to do it. Vicetone though, Mr. Batchat, great to see him back on effectively equal second there with 2.7k damage. Got Cry 1700, Muller and Pang in the RUs down the bottom.
Well, no surprises. Both the RU-251s were the first tanks to be dropped by their respective opponents, but you know, you never tend to see the RU-251 doing all that much work, especially on Prokhorovka for some reason, even though it should be the RU-251's playground. Still though, that's the first half done and dusted. Meltdown picking it up with relative ease, it's got to be said. So the second half here, we're going to have to see something a little bit better from B Gaming on their defensive side. Should play into their hands a little bit more, hopefully a little bit easier for them. They don't have to make the moves. And it looked pretty good there for Meltdown, even now that they're heading over to the attacking side, because they were the ones making the moves. They were making the pushes happen there on the first half even.
Yeah, it did. Meltdown looked in control in that half. Look, they picked the right tanks. They really used that S-tank quite well, I thought.
Yep.
Putting that right at the back of the rail tracks. That's where we've seen the guys from TCZ. Yep. Madhouse put his S-tank on the defense of Prokhorovka. Worked out beautifully. They were able to take the hill control after that with their bad chats. Push right down to the southern entrance of the rail tracks. And push over there. Eliminate B Gaming.
Pretty much. It's up to B Gaming now, though, to turn the tables. And, well, if they go down 0-2 on their own map pick, that's when things are going to start to be getting a little bit difficult for them. Obviously, Meltdown have got the next couple of map picks, which we think is going to be Ruhenberg and then Himmelsdorf. So, you know, I feel like both of those maps are going to be all right for Meltdown. Ruhenberg, potential for a 1-1. It is that kind of a map where, generally speaking, the defensive side is going to pull off a win. But we have started to see some nice attacking strats coming out from a lot of the teams on Ruhenberg. So maybe the mouse strategy comes out here from B Gaming. They might be able to pull off a sneaky win up against Meltdown. I guess that remains to be seen when we get onto that one. Focusing in on Prokhorovka, obviously, we've still got one more half here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And this next half on Prokhorovka, I feel as though this really needs to be a win for B Gaming if they want to have any hope in this series at all. You know, it is Prokhorovka. They are familiar with it. It is a map which, you know, we did say they could look to win. But if they just get trounced by Meltdown like that again, then I don't think they will. And I think it is actually now a disadvantage to be a team that can't actually, or that doesn't pick the S-tank already in WGL APAC. You know, for a defensive setup like Prokhorovka, I really think it is best in class for having one of those sat right at the back. And look, Shan Power can do 3,000 damage in his grill, but what if he was in an S-tank, you know? I think he might have done a little bit more even.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think you can make a very good argument for saying you should be picking the STRV on Prokhorovka, but we have seen some teams be quite successful without the STRV. I mean, even B Gaming, to an extent, have had some reasonable successes with the Grill 15.
Let's be honest. They're B Gaming.
I know.
They lost to the Coalition Zujo. I don't think they've had too many successes with anything, so...
Prokhorovka has been a better map for them, though, than any of the other ones.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So it's been like the kind of shiny piece of rubbish.
Well, if you want to put it that way. I wasn't going to bin them too hard.
Yeah, well, that's where I got it from, the bin, so...
Well, BM. BM indeed. Well, who knows? They're going to be trying to climb out of the bin at the moment because Meltdown is trying to keep that lid on.
Yep.
Trying to push them back down. But B Gaming do have a bit of a climb, don't they?
Yes, they do. They might have to pop out like Oscar the Grouch to, yeah.
Is everyone going to get that? How many regions get Sesame Street? Like,
Everyone gets
does
Sesame
everyone
Street.
get? Does Asia get Sesame Street?
Let us know, guys. If you don't get Sesame Street, you can tell me. Hashtag WGL APAC on Twitter. I read everything. Anyways, let's stop waffling on about that and jump into the tank picks for the next match. We've got B Gaming locking in T1 10E5, IS7 and a Kranwagen. So a bit of a heavier defensive setup there from B Gaming. Don't mind that. Lacking the S tank, but they've got lots of hold down.
They certainly do. IS7, T1 10E5, Kranwagen. I can foresee a bit of poking going on around the train tracks. Meltdown for their own right. Looking like they have a setups for probably that 1 flag if they can get the IS7 hold down. But actually it does look like they're going to be heading over towards the 2 flag. So for the first time tonight, or not for the first time tonight, I'm trying to say, I am incorrect in my prediction. But I think this kind of plays into the hands of B Gaming almost, because this is the ideal situation for them, really, with all those hold-down tanks, just to be peeking up and over the tracks.
Yeah, I think so as well. B Gaming are going to have a very easy time doing that peeking. Right now, they're just setting up for a fairly standard 1 flag defense. Riku Sam in the Kranwagen is going to be the one on that A6 track sort of entrance. We've got Yusashan Power in the IS7 over on E4. Just looking across there. And Meltdown pushing over the hill. They have actually spotted out Yusashan Power. Has to be careful now because all of those Meltdown tanks up on the hill are going to be able to deal a lot of damage from quite far away. Particularly the Grill of Cry.
Surprising again to see Cry in the Grill 15 tonight as opposed to Blast. In the first couple of weeks we did see Blast being the one to take away the Grill 15, but it seems like that role has kind of shifted in Meltdown.
Interesting. I thought Blast was doing a pretty decent job at it, but I mean, look, obviously Meltdown won yesterday. They were doing pretty well, so Cry might also be a really good grill player. Not sure. Right now, we're going to be seeing Meltdown just taking a little bit more map control. This is pretty decent for them as they push one of their mediums up towards that little island on the A0 area. B Gaming not in any rush to move just yet. They don't need to be. B Gaming aren't really sure where the push is going to come in from Meltdown either. They definitely would suspect a few tanks on the hill, but until they actually spot out all of Meltdown, then for all they know, we could see a bit of a diversionary push, you know, Meltdown pushing down the 1-2 line until they're spotted.
Well, as of yet, Meltdown haven't really pressured that cap at all, although Pang Pang is quite close to it. Like to see him get on there, get in a nice position to stay unspotted and really start to cause some of a ruckus among the B Gaming guys. Momo actually seems to be moving in that direction. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I'd probably prefer to see him just hanging around through that cross. Really should be someone else on the flag, and luckily, at least for Meltdown, it looks like he might have stopped. Just going for a bit of a spot here in towards mid. Has spotted out Yusashan Power. He himself is spotted, but for the moment, not too much pressure being produced by Meltdown. Good to see them getting on the flag, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm liking Meltdown on that flag. So we do see that base 10% captured already. Pang Pang going to be starting the tick down. 1 minute and 44 seconds left on that one. As Meltdown in the meantime actually having a bit of a rotate with their tanks. This is interesting. I wonder if they're actually going to do the same sort of thing as last game and push through the southern end of the tracks and up to B Gaming.
Does look like that might be the case here. Yusashan Power is not going to have too much difficulty there. He's got a big, strong IS-7 turret. Momo not even managing to connect the shell, but have a look at this push from the south here from Meltdown. They are looking very aggressive. It's Vicetone leading the charge, and, well, it's actually Blast leading the charge, to be honest, but Vicetone in sort of the second position. They want him to be the one dealing the damage, and it's probably not a bad idea, given that he has quite a nice accuracy. Average damage maybe a little bit lacking. Would have liked to have seen that a little bit higher this season, but perhaps tonight is the night, Alex.
Perhaps. Well, it looks like he's already started to make the comeback there, but we'll have to wait and see whether that proves true for the rest of the matches tonight. And right now, Blast, Vicetone, they're going to be the ones leading in. A little bit worrying for them, but they should be able to spot out Muller first in the meantime. Momo7 starting to get encircled by B Gaming on the cap here. Meltdown, they pulled the trigger.
They certainly have, and is it going to work out for them is the real question. Muller has been, well, he's about to be taken down. I was going to say has been, and, well, that would be not a bad choice of words right now, but in the end, Muller not having much of a great time there. He did get the spots across onto those bat chats at least, and he soaked up a few shells from the bat chats as well, but is it going to be enough here? I mean, it's not a great trade so far for B Gaming, all things considered.
Yes, it is not ideal here for the B Gaming guys, but well, they could potentially pull it back. They've only lost one RU-251 so far, dealt a lot of damage out to Pink Pig. If they could take him out, that's a high threat damage dealer down for Meltdown, and it's not looking like they can though. B Gaming already almost losing Taki and Shinozaki.
I'm not sure why Vicetone hasn't repaired his ammo rack here. He's on the reload. It's going to be like an 80-second reload in that bat chat before he's going to be involved in this fight, and I feel like he's going to be needed a little bit earlier than that because this is by no means a sure thing yet for Meltdown. He had a repair kit available.
Wow.
Maybe feeling very confident about this one, but I'm not so sure I am feeling
what
just
is Blast
as confident.
doing? What is Blast doing? I suppose they are on the reload, maybe, but still.
Taking down Shinozaki, and overall, even if he gets a 1-for-1 here, it's pretty worth. He'll get his second clip out. He's actually managed to get out of there alive. Momo in the IS-7 has destroyed his counterpart as well, so across the board, it's just falling apart here for B Gaming.
Yeah, this is tricky. And there's no way that these three members of B Gaming can protect Taki from Blast for any extended amount of time. And now Otori is almost one shot away from death. Blast, if he wants to, he could probably pop out and... Oh, nope. Taki punishing him there. That's good. But right now, 3 tanks left on the B Gaming field. B Gaming are losing by 2.7 thousand HP in the HP pool.
Well, Vicestone's probably off the reload by now.
1.7 thousand as Vicestone. Yes, he is surely going to be off the reload. As we see a ricochet onto Happiness from Vicestone.
Not going to be seeing too many more ricochets, I'm sure. This is all said and done, really, for B Gaming. Meltdown, it's just a matter of time before they clean up these few remaining kills. And now, single remaining kill. It's Taki going down, and Meltdown secure the 2-0 on their opponent's map. Not a great start to this series for B Gaming at all.
No, not great, to be honest. I think B Gaming here, they really would have wanted a 1/2 on Prokhorovka.
Yes,
minimum.
at least.
At least. So, not ideal. Not ideal, I guess. And Meltdown there, look, they've got to be happy. I really think that this is a lot more of last season's Meltdown that we're seeing here. It just to me feels like they're playing a lot more like they did last season with Vicestone, you know, being a bit of a pussy out the back.
Yep.
You know, letting his gun reload without you know, using that repair kit for the ammo rack, you know, being a bit stingy like that.
Yeah.
That's the Vicestone that we know and love.
It is, definitely. It's Mr. Batchat. Maybe he's making a bit of a resurgence. Has been a little quiet so far this season, but definitely a good start for Meltdown here. If they can continue this form up against B Gaming throughout the rest of the series, it's going to be a pretty easy win for them. I'm still not sure I would say it's exactly Meltdown from last season. I still don't feel like they're quite as strong as what we saw, and it's certainly not the B Gaming from last season either. I mean, they are just, you know, not really showing us anything at all.
Yeah, it's not great from B Gaming, and like I still honestly, after 3 weeks, we've played just about 3 weeks of WGL APAC so far, and I can't see what's actually the cause of B Gaming's issues.
Well, maybe the replays will help us find out. Let's have a look at those and see where things were not quite going right.
Okay, so...
Well, my main question here is, where's all the damage being done by B Gaming while Muller's going down? I mean, you saw Muller went down essentially for free. Meltdown didn't take any damage until he was already dead.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. It was not ideal at all. But look at that Cry up the top. You were kind of questioning whether Cry being in the grill was a good idea for Meltdown, I think, Jordan, as opposed to Bank. But I think he's just answered those questions pretty convincingly. Up the top with 3.1 thousand damage. Vicestone, Mr. Batchat, number 2. He's back.
He is back, 3,000 average damage. So that's pretty good. Pretty good from him. He was up there last round as well. It's not a bad start at all for Meltdown. If they can continue this, like I said, they're going to have a pretty good time here. And they are going to be moving on to their own map pick now of Ruinberg. We have seen a little bit of Meltdown so far this season on Ruinberg. It hasn't been, you know, it hasn't been fantastic. I don't think I'd be writing home about it. Karen Tiger certainly, for me, have been the pick of the bunch on Ruinberg. But I think Meltdown is going to have enough tonight up against B Gaming to probably even pull off a 2-0 on Ruinberg.
Yeah. That would make sense. I think Ruinberg, it is going to be very, very tough for B Gaming to come back on Meltdown. They're very experienced Ruinberg tankers. But here, look on the bottom half of the scoreboard there, Riku Sam and that Kranvagen tried to do some work, 1k damage. But it's interesting to see Pang Pang still managed to get 814 damage off in the RU-251. Not a bad Not a bad little result there for Mr. Payne.
Yep, that's probably 3 or 4 shots off, including the kill that he's got there. So the only disappointing thing there for Meltdown really is Pathfinder not being able to get really all that much damage done. Only a couple for him, but it is what it is. I mean, Meltdown, they picked up the win, and it was pretty comfortable as well.
Pretty comfortable, absolutely. And look, Meltdown, I think if they can continue this form, they'll be looking pretty good moving forward in our WGL APAC season. Of course, guys, this is actually technically start of Phase 2.
It is.
So that means that all of the teams have played each other. We're moving into Phase 2. There are 3 phases in our WGL APAC season. Of course, the teams battle for the standings that carry throughout all of these phases. And at the end of it, we're going to be seeing who is ranked 1 to 8 of WGL APAC teams.
And, you know, I guess to give you a bit more doom and gloom about B Gaming, the last time the 2 teams faced in Phase 1, it was 5-1 for Meltdown. So, you know, things... well, hopefully going to be getting better tonight for B Gaming than they were, but with the start that they've got, I'm not confident.
I'm not confident at all. Look, I predicted 5-1 here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go 5-1. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 5-0 here, Jordan, against B Gaming, because I don't know what's wrong with them. You know, I've seen on Twitter as well. There's B Gaming fans that are really cheering for them and kind of, you know, wanting them to come back into their original Season 1 form. But here, Season 2, 2016 to 2017, again, they've had a few roster changes. We thought they might have even had a positive impact on the B Gaming roster, but they haven't. They've just completely decimated B Gaming's strength in the league.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on for B Gaming at the moment. I don't think many people do. I mean, a lot of people so far still expecting them to be able to come back into this season and look like a positive force, but really it's just not happening at the moment. And you know, as we've already said so far, you know, the last couple of broadcasts, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And certainly B Gaming was a pretty strong team in the region. They've fallen almost all the way down to the bottom. So it's not been a good situation for B Gaming. You know, like you said, we thought the roster changes were going to work for them, but they just haven't been there. And you know, if I was a B Gaming fan, I think it might be time to be jumping ship and joining the Karen Tiger.
Joining the Karen Tiger fan club, absolutely. It's seeming a lot like that, isn't it? And, you know, when they trade away, or well, not really trade away, but coming into this season, they did lose Colin 1120, who's now playing on the Horseman, I do believe. And Colin's doing great work on the Horseman. So for B Gaming to lose him, that was a big loss for them. And you know, they've done other weird things like move Tiltil away from those tier 8 tanks like he likes playing. You know, it's a little bit like what they've done with Tiltil is kind of like putting me into like a medium tank in like pub battles. Like I'm really bad at it. I can play a TD all right. I like to think maybe an Artie.
Raise the eyebrow to that one.
But yeah, put me into a medium and I will fail quite hard. But anyways, it's time for Ruinberg, guys. Very asymmetrical map, of course. Like we like to say, it's got 2 different flags, as with all of our attack and defense maps, and lots of variations. Lots of different types of tanks that you can pick, particularly on the attack here on Ruinberg. Might be seeing some mouses coming out, or just some standard tanks on both sides. That's
I think when B Gaming's on the attack, that's when we might start to see some mouses coming out. But Meltdown, I wouldn't be too crazy thinking about them picking up a mouse. But FE215B, the only real heavy tank on their field here. It is a very light lineup from Meltdown. They are going to need to make things work. Going to need to make those rotations pretty good as well. B Gaming do have a little bit more health that they can soak damage up from.
Yeah, so Meltdown probably going to be putting everyone apart from one bat chat up towards that one flag near the town, and the FE215B as well. B Gaming, not too sure what they're going to be doing with their line. We've got a few different options to defend. Let's find out.
This is a pretty quick start for Meltdown. They've just charged their bat APs right in towards the 2 flag. It should be relatively safe for them at the moment, but B Gaming starting to get into position now. We will need to see Meltdown with the rest of those bat chats start to push up through this area of the map. The bat AP is getting spotted out. Pang Pang gets tracked.
Oh no, they've hit each other!
That's not good at all. Pang Pang taking probably the worst track of what was possible, because Pathfinder then careered into him, and that's just gone horribly wrong for Meltdown.
Yeah, that was seriously like the worst thing that could have happened. The 2 tanks running into each other after the track, and that track spun Pang Pang around. That was ugly. So now Meltdown have to try and do this with their 4 FE215Bs. I thought They only
had one, but yeah, okay, it's different. Yeah, but maybe they're not going to have 4 FV215Bs much longer. Blast taking a lot of damage. Momo, though, bouncing a couple of shells there. You know, the reason they put those bad APs early on in the piece up towards the town is to avoid a situation like this. The FV215Bs need a bit of help getting up there without... or otherwise, they're going to take all of this damage, but obviously, B-Gaming doing or making short work of those Batchat APs, and it has hurt Meltdown here.
Yeah, it's hurt them quite a bit, and... Well, Meltdown only with 5 tanks remaining. Vicestone's just had to repair his ammo rack, and he's just about to be taken down, as well as Blast, who's gone down now. And look, it's a 3v6. There's no way that Meltdown are going to be able to come back from this, regardless of whether some of B-Gaming crew are reloading or not. Tacky's still on the reload for a little bit of time, but those 3 FE215Bs, they're not going to be able to take out, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks on B-Gaming before they go down.
Yep, and Meltdown, it's just going to be a slow but steady defeat here up against B-Gaming. One could argue B-Gaming maybe a little bit lucky with the tracking shot there, but whoever fired that tracking shot, you know, you could put it down to skill as well, so...
Absolutely.
Very, very well played by B-Gaming. A pretty easy win for them in the end there. Very, very quick defensive win, and well, Meltdown, I don't think they can take too much away from that. They can be like, okay, you know, we got a bit lucky with that track. We lost our bad APs early on. It was always going to be a tough game. Let's not get too, you know, hung up on it.
Yeah. Well, exactly. They can't look back on that. They just did a YOLO push in and had the worst thing possible happen to them with their Batchat getting tracked in the middle of the open field. So, you know, if you didn't get tracked, or if he didn't get even spun around, you know, if it was his backtrack that got tracked and he just stopped, then I think that would have been much better, because he spun around, hit the other Meltdown member, that was it. See you later, Pang Pang, and I'm not sure who, maybe Blast or whoever the other Batchat was. And B-Gaming just had a field day, really.
Yep. Pretty much. They were just happy to take the shots that they could. They got the kills that they needed to early on. Taking those 2 Batchats out off the field straight away is exactly what needed to happen for them there. And you could see the match just snowballed away from the Meltdown guys from that one. So, like I said, don't take too much away from that Meltdown. Come into this second half here on the defensive side with a fresh mind. I think the defensive side is going to help work out a little bit nicer here for Meltdown, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I hope so for their sake, because so far, the attacking side's not been looking too good. Let's take a look, though, at what didn't look so good for Meltdown in the replays there. As we saw, yeah, look, Pang Pang, and he turned around, and it was the turnaround after tracking that actually knocked Pathfinder as well, and essentially stopped Pathfinder. Pathfinder as well was never going to be in a great spot, but...
Well, they just tried to do as much damage as they could after getting that, you know, that obvious disadvantage, but it just wasn't enough in the end there for them. Top 4 damage dealers are B-Gaming tanks, no surprises there. Riku-Sam with a nice job done in the FV215B.
Yeah, Riku-Sam going to be pretty happy with that. 3.7 thousand damage in that one. Tacky there, 3.1k. Usage power a little bit lower than we're expected to see from him, and he did get 15 shots off, so maybe not all of those going through the sturdy armor of the FV215Bs. But speaking of the FV215Bs, they were up the top for Meltdown and also down the bottom for Meltdown, because they had 4 of them.
Yeah.
834, 772 damage. It's basically 2 shots hit from each of them.
Pang Pang only managing to get 1 shot off there. Pathfinder only getting 2. So, not the ideal scenario there at all for Meltdown. They're going to have to come into the second half of this one with a pretty fresh mind. I wonder what we're going to see from B-Gaming on the attack. Like I said earlier, they, you know, are prone to occasionally picking up the mouse. It's possible that we're going to see it coming out here.
Maybe. We could see the mouse on the attack here for B-Gaming. I wouldn't be surprised. I think in terms of other stuff that they're going to pick, I think it's either going to be that or standard, because there's nothing really that B-Gaming like to do here on Ruinberg that's anything other than the mouse. I don't think we're going to be seeing any T1 T3s. I don't think we're going to be seeing any, you know, CDC strats or SU14 2 strats here on the 1 flag. It's just going to be stock standard, maybe a couple of mouses to push onto the 2 flag.
I almost feel like a mouse now is kind of standard for B-Gaming.
Yeah,
really.
Honestly, it really is. Like, when you take a look at how many times the mouse has been picked now, it's very common to see it on Ruinberg here, whether it is from B-Gaming or another team in the league. So, yeah, I think even if BGaming pick that, it's not going to be a curveball for Meltdown. They're going to be able to know how to deal with it. It's going to mean that I would like to see Meltdown here pick a few less auto-loaders.
Yep.
Maybe not 4 FE215Bs, but at least 3 non-auto-loading tier 10s, just so they can get that constant damage out if the Mouses are in play. And like we always say, you know, the auto-loaders are very bad against the Mouses because you can't take them down in a clip.
I think I'd be happy to see 2 FE215Bs and 250Bs. I think that would work. You know, I think 3 FE215Bs is probably a little bit too much to ask for here from Meltdown. Maybe even a 113 in place.
Yeah, I
like
think a 113 thrown in there, or even a IS something in there, IS7, IS4. You know, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Potential. Maybe an IS7 in the K0 line. Don't see it very much. We maybe even, if we're going to see a tier 10 heavy in that area, it's generally speaking going to be a 113. But I generally prefer to see like the T54 lightweight or the WZ.
We could potentially see the EL Gaming-esque STRB push down there. That pushes down the K line, I think. K0.
Did EL do that?
I think it was EL that did that.
I don't remember, but I don't think we'll see it. I honestly don't think we'll see it.
Fair enough. Well, I don't really expect it. I think it's very low probability, but we'll have to wait and see what these teams lock in, and whether it is going to be that S-Tank or something a little bit more standard. Maybe a Kranwagen or 2 on the defense.
Possibility. It's a possibility. I'd say 1 maximum here on Ruinberg. It's not something that is hugely popular, though.
Not the most favoured tank on Ruinberg. No, absolutely not. There's just not that many points to get it hull down. And, you know, with the Kranwagen, that's what you want to do. You want to find a nice little rock just so you can poke your Swedish turret just over it and have your hull nice and behind it. So, that's what you want to do. Yeah. Little diagram for anyone. You can draw it. You can write it down, guys, if you've got a notepad. Top tips from GoGo.
GoGo Gadget Factoids. Not so sure I'd be listening to GoGo if I was trying to improve my World of Tanks skills.
I would. I'd listen to me. Because I'm really good at World of Tanks. I just don't play really good at World of Tanks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The brain. You're the brain. Maybe you could be an in-game leader.
Well, I could be. I tried an excellent strategy when we played in a platoon with one of the pro players from TCZ, was it, the other day?
When was it? What game? What
strategy
was it?
When I was in an object 263 and we got on, I forgot the name of the map, but with the big bridge in the middle that there's 2 sides across, and
You're not doing a very good job of explaining it.
There's a big bridge in the middle. It's where there's one big rock mountain.
Oh, big rock.
On one side, there's like a dry river under the bridge, and the bridge is super long.
I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
You guys know.
I have no idea which map you're talking about.
And that's where I did the Object 263 YOLO strat, and I pushed all the way up with my Object 263, all the way over the bridge, and the guy that we were platooning with was at, who was it? It wasn't Madhouse.
I don't know, Alex.
Anyways.
I think you're going off on a really crazy tangent, to be
No,
honest.
I'm just saying that, you know, it was a pro strat.
It was definitely not a pro strat. If it was coming from you, it wasn't.
We
I know
didn't
that
end
much.
up winning, but that wasn't my fault.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Like, you can't even explain what map it was.
I can explain the map.
I don't think
just
anyone
didn't
knows
say
what
the
map you're talking about.
Yes, they do. Twitch chat, help me out. Help me out, Twitch chat, please. So I really think that moving back onto the game a little bit, that Meltdown here, they've got a strong chance of just cleaning this one up, making it 1 apiece here on Ruinberg if they go with their standard picks. I don't think, you know, if they go with something a little bit crazy, they don't need to do that against BGaming here. BGaming, they do one of 2 things on the attack. You know, they either pick the Mouses or they pick the AMX 50Bs, you know, the standard kind of bat chat lineup on here instead.
Yeah.
Maybe a IS7, maybe an IS4 to go in the little pill boxes near the 2 flag, but it's basically the extent of it, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but yeah, I feel like if they're going to go for those heavy tanks, we'll probably see a mouse more than anything else. Let's have a look and find out whether or not our predictions are going to be correct here for BGaming, and it is the triple mouse strategy.
And there we go, Meltdown have got the 3 non-auto loaders on their lineup, so I do like that from both teams. Basically exactly what we thought would be happening there. On both sides, the AMX 1390 Meltdown isn't going to be able to contribute too much damage to the Mouses, but bat chats are should be able to, as long as they get through. B Gaming with the batch APs as well, the tier 9. Fair call. You know you're going to be facing some kind of sturdier tanks up in those heavy slots, but yeah, I'm favouring Meltdown to win this. They've got the right team to deal with those mouses.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. The FE215Bs, a couple of them, obviously really nice for this sort of a setup. Remains to be seen what B Gaming is going to be doing, but it is the pretty standard attacking side setup. When you've got a mouse or a couple of mouses, even 3, you generally tend to see a couple of those bat chats make their way through the southern part of the map. They have one up towards the top spotting, and they send a couple of mouses in towards that 2 flag. So no surprises here at all from B Gaming. No curveballs thrown at them, thrown at Meltdown, and I think Meltdown are going to be well equipped to deal with this one.
Don't reckon it's a bit strange that Riku Sam is up the top in the mouse?
That's strange.
I think it's, I mean, a little bit strange, because if B Gaming commit to a 2 flag push and Riku Sam is just up there while all of Meltdown have rotated towards the 2 flag, he's literally going to be able to do nothing. Be my only comment on that maneuver, but we do see the Mousers rolling up this 6 line like they normally do. And Colin 1120, Till Matil going to be able to get on towards that 2 cap fairly soon.
Well, see what B Gaming is going to do here. We've got a listen in ready for them, so time to find out how they're going about this attacking side.
バレた。
見られた。これ右出して。
あ、25
オイル。
4。4打った。
マウス打ち合っていいんですよね、これ。顔出して。
打ち合っていいよ。
ぼかされないようにこれ。
あ、チャッターにいる。
リーチゴビール、リーチゴビール。
もう行って、
も
もうバットに行って、
行こう行こう。
オッケー。行こう行こう行こう行こう行こ
出るわ。
バット2入ってる。
やる、俺がやる。
俺がやる。オッケーオッケーオッケー。
ナイスナイスナイス。
ごめん。
バット全部向こうにいるのでは。
バカホボ来た。
バット2発。
でも3キャップ
出るよ。
これもうちょっと
キャップ入れて。
あ、オッケーオッケー。
ここをサインに今日俺ここ。十字路。はいはい。
ヘルスないね俺。800。
プリン立てでいいんじゃない？
こいつ打ち切り、こいつも打ち切ってる。
FV やりに行きたいんだけど。
日曜日1枚こっちです。もうこっちに寄ってますよ。
俺寄ってます。FV いつだ。横から。あ。こっから出せへんな。
バットこいつもうすぐ装填入る。このバットも弾入ってるよ。
前でないと4に打たれるか。
パッと見とく。
Well, it's been a very nice start to this defensive side here for Meltdown. They've managed to take down 2 Mouses already. They've got the health advantage, and B Gaming don't have much more to say about it in this one. Really good stuff up towards the northern part of the map there for Meltdown to isolate that tank, or to recognize that it was isolated and that they would be able to take him down. They actually have a tank disadvantage now, but look at how many low HP tanks here on B Gaming. Should be no problems for the cleanup here for Meltdown.
Yeah, and there's Mouses left. Like, it doesn't matter when there's Mouses left, because you can just take them down super easily. Pathfinder there, he's getting a little bit low, but after that reloads up, he should be able to take out Yusishan Power. Till Matil here, he's trying his best, but Pig doesn't have any troubles getting through that strong armor of the Mouse. And Vice Tone should be able to finish off Tacky. Yusishan Power's not long for this world either. Very simple win there from Meltdown.
Very much so. Yusishan Power, though, is going to be delaying that win just a little bit here. Pathfinder chasing him down. He will be off the reload. He does have an angle in towards Yusishan Power. It's just whether or not he's going to get the shot across in time. And, well, that's not going to go anywhere near him. And Yusishan Power does get around the corner, so he'll survive for a little bit longer here. But I think he's just delaying the inevitable, if I'm being 100% honest here, Alex.
I would say so as well, Jordan. He is delaying the inevitable. Maybe there's a chance that he could take out Momo 7. There's an outside chance that he can take out Momo 7 and Pathfinder, but after that, I mean, he's in a bad chat. He's not Batman. He doesn't have superpowers. He just has a decent gun. So will be. Yep, there we go.
That's a nice shot on the move from Visto.
It was a good one. Put on your Vice Tone, but there you go. That is it for B Gaming on Ruinberg.
Yep.
Very solid defense there from Meltdown. Really like that push on towards the individual mouse from the bat chat. It's like, that was the other reason why I didn't like that B Gaming mouse pushing up there, because it's got no real backup.
Yeah.
That was dedicated there just to help it out. So the bat chat just came behind the mouse, clipped him. It was an FE215B at the front of the mouse that got him down low enough so that bat chat clip finished him off.
Kind of have to think, though, if they are going to have a mouse in that position and it's going to draw 3 tanks over, including a couple of bat chats, what was the rest of B Gaming really doing over the other side of the map? That's when their advantage was. That's when they had the tanks available in that skirmish up towards the town that they should have been able to win, and for some reason didn't.
Well, that's a good point, but the issue is that, like, that's not really how Mousers work, because the Mousers work in that you just go in an all-out brawl, you trade hits with them, you force your autoloaders to unload on the Mousers. That puts the autoloaders exposed so that you can take down the damage threats one by one, and you essentially win an all-out brawl. But when you've got 2 Mousers on the other side, it's not actually like they're outnumbered, because in terms of damage, they're not outnumbered. It's probably going to be almost like a 4v4 instead of a 4v5 when you've got 2 Mousers on the field, because they just don't deal that much damage and aren't as versatile as the other tanks. Even rotating a turret takes longer, and that's another second of damage that you don't have from the Mousers already low DPM.
All right, well, let's have a look at the post-battle stats for that one, see whether or not the Mousers were even able to contest, and the answer is no. Not anywhere near it.
Not surprised. That's what Mousers do. They take damage, but they don't really dish it out. But Cry dishes it out in his FV215B, managed to farm 3.6k after that one. Momo7, I like that in the IS4. I've grown a little bit warmer to the IS4 this season, Jordan.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we questioned it early on in the last season, but it definitely feels like it has its place now over the IS7.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the things I really like about the IS4 is that how it does have... It is one of the tankiest tanks in the game, because it's got 2.5k base HP, and you're also going to ricochet a few shots because it's an IS4. So you add that together, and you add the decent sort of gun that it's got, better than something like the Mouse, or better than the IS7, and it's a pretty all-round balanced tank.
2 of those Mouses only getting a single shot off each, and that's really not what you want to be seeing there. If you are B Gaming, obviously, it goes 1-1, which is probably as good as B Gaming probably could have hoped for there on Ruinberg, to be honest. But now that we move over onto Himmelsdorf, that's again another bit of a weird one here. B Gaming, generally speaking, pretty good on the attack of Himmelsdorf and pretty bad on the defense. So I wonder if Meltdown are going to allow another one to slip over here.
I'm not feeling like they will, because, look, a map like Ruinberg, it's easy to make those sorts of mistakes that we saw Meltdown make. They didn't know that B Gaming was going to track their bat chat and instantly lose them the map on Ruinberg.
Yeah.
On Himmelsdorf, there's a lot less of a chance for them to do that. There's so fewer misplays that they can make. It's a very simple map. You can push down the banana line, you can just sit on the 2 cap and force a brawl. It's not that hard to play. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Meltdown losing this one out to B Gaming.
No, it feels to me like that's probably not the case, but for some reason I just feel like B Gaming can slip one through here on the attacking side. They are generally very good on it, and it's just weird. Like they for some reason know how to play the attacking side of Himmelsdorf, but they have no idea what they're doing on the defense. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a 1-1 slipping through here. Meltdown isn't exactly the best of Himmelsdorf's teams. It's not like they're going to be really super strong on this one. They're pretty good, but they're not excellent.
I'm not sure where you saying B Gaming have a strong attack on Himmelsdorf even comes from, because they've never won an attack this season.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, early on this week.
Oh, earlier on this week.
So we haven't got it in
against
probably Coalition Zoo, I think.
Yeah, TCZ.
Yeah. So that's still a win.
Yeah. It's like they won the first grade spelling contest.
You're all about the boys on TCZ, and then now you're just ripping on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I think they'd agree with me. Okay, sorry, TCZ. The 3rd grade spelling contest. Is that better? B Gaming's in the 1st grade.
Anyway, the reason I say that is because of last season B Gaming being very, very good on the attacking side of Himmelsdorf. And it is a very similar team setup than what they had last season. You know, a lot of these players coming through.
They're
not playing like they are.
this season.
They're not
They're
playing like they are.
So
But history states they're good on the attacking side of Himmelsdorf.
I don't know, guys. Maybe we'll get some polls in the chat to see what you guys think about these teams on Himmelsdorf. Of course, we have been getting a few polls throughout tonight, and we have got those quests for everyone. The new quest, brand new, Week 3 for APAC Pro Tanker and the APAC Esports Fan Quest. You can win gold, premium, XP boosts, all of that fun stuff, Jordan.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
So much fun.
So much
Absolutely. Fun. And you get to answer polls as well. So it's really good to...
Who would want to miss out on answering polls? You make it sound so exciting, Alex.
That's because it is so exciting. It pops up on live.wgleague.net, and like a nice fancy little animated graphic pops in, and you know it flicks up to the poll results. It's really cool. Anyways, guys, it's time to stop talking about polls and start talking about tanks, because we're about to go in here to our next map.
Yeah, and it's not Himmelsdorf because
Himmelsdorf.
Apparently the graphic was wrong. So it's mines.
It's mines, exactly. And this now this so this does change things a little bit because I don't mind B gaming so much on mines. And let's see, do the stats back me up, or am I just talking rubbish? Yep, 50% win rate on attack on mines. There you go. So
defense.
Yeah, but they have a 50% win rate on the attack. So here, M40. Look, it's going to need some good M40 shots on. For B Gaming, but overall Meltdown, I like their setup, Meltdowns. They've got that IS-7 instead of something that we might see like a Kranwagen on the Meltdown lineup. I wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, that M4043 is interesting. I like the T49 here from Meltdown. It's going to deny any sort of a aggressive push on towards that hill, you would think.
Well, not really deny it, because these teams often do change.
Not deny it, but it'll punish it.
Well, you might not, because Pang Pang's not set up on the hill.
Yeah, B Gaming hasn't opted to go for the hill anyway, so irrelevant. We are going to see Meltdown start to push forward pretty quickly. Got control of almost the entire beach, so are they going to get the IS-7 in sort of a hull-down position here on this flag?
Interesting to see Pang Pang. Obviously, it is mines. You don't really need that extra view range that the Coded Optics offers, so he's not going to be going with that one. Tori just going the full damage loadout on that 113. Meantime, we do actually see Momo 7 getting on towards that 2 flag. Haven't seen any big shots from the artillery just yet. Colin 1120.
Yeah, so really it comes down to how well Meltdown is going to be able to punish the resets that B Gaming are going to try and get. That's a very nice shot from Utori, by the way. A little bit lucky with the RNG on that one, but take what you can get.
Absolutely.
Here's an RD shot. Are we going to see it fired immediately, or are they going to try and spot the IS-7? It's going to be fired off.
I don't like...
No reset. Why would you not just try and get the spot?
I really don't like blind RD shots like that. Look, you've got 1 minute and 17 seconds left. It's not hard for a 113 just to poke over the hill and get like a really small angle spot off, and then boom, you've instantly got a higher chance to hit than if you're blind firing. I mean, yes, Momo 7's going to be in only one of a few places, but it's still worth it.
It's obviously, you know, fairly unlikely he's moved around all that much, but I don't see why it would necessarily hurt just to get the spot anyway. Like, it's not going to take all that much difficulty. It's not going to take that much time. And for the sake of another 30-second reload on the M4043, you might as well. Yeah. Looks like we have seen a reset, but I think that was because... Did he get reset? Oh, yeah, he took a little bit of damage, Momo. So he must have taken a bit of splash from that M4043. I think Meltdown are probably going to have to abandon this sort of a strategy in reality. It's just too many easy resets for the M4043.
Yeah, look, it's probably not going to work out, but the positive of it is that it does draw the M40, M43 so that it's not really firing on anything else, which it probably should be firing on. And with Pang Pang actually pushing up now, in his T49, he's actually in a little bit of trouble. We can see they're dropped down to 210 HP. I'm not sure where he's getting fired at from. Maybe from the hill?
Yeah, potentially.
But
Should
yeah,
be pretty safe where he is, though.
If he can find his way just over to get a cheeky shot across that hill onto Yusashan Power, then
Blast takes a big chunk of damage. Was that from the Artie?
It was from the grill and
something else.
And something else, yeah. So actually not looking too good at all for Meltdown. They haven't inflicted a single point of damage onto B Gaming.
Oh, there's been a little bit going over there too. Riku Sam blast in the firing line here for the artillery shot.
Fire.
Here we go.
Oh, no, never mind.
Nope. Grill 15 of Yusashan is going to pick that kill up. There is a trade out though, at least for Meltdown. They take down Riku Sam in the Kranwagen. Although I'm not sure I'd be too happy with the trade the way it is looking at the moment. 2 tanks down already for Meltdown, only 1 for B Gaming, and the health well and truly in the favour of B Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. Now he should be able to get a shot off now, and he is going to be missing that. A little bit disappointing, but yeah, look at this. Meltdown just getting torn apart by B Gaming here already. Down to their last remaining 5 tanks. Pink Pig is 1 shot from death, as is Pang Pang. They're going to be pushing up here from behind B Gaming now. Only concern is, are those B Gaming bat chats reloading or not? I think they've just reloaded.
Yeah, they should be relatively okay here, B Gaming, I think, to be honest. Meltdown just don't have the health pool to really play with this one. B Gaming, so much health available. 2 bat chats that are on full HP, and I'm not so sure this is going to go too nicely for Meltdown. Yeah, they just felt like they sacrificed way too much HP trying to get that cap pressure on, and it was never really a thing.
Yeah, that was never going to work with the RD on the field, and B Gaming, lol. Colin 1120 even getting the TD mode RD shot onto the T49 for a little bit of insult added to injury. Against Meltdown. But yeah, after Pink Pig and Vicestone go down here, it's going to be back to the drawing board for Meltdown. There's no way that they can come back and take down 5 B Gaming tanks that are almost all on full HP.
No way at all. Not at all. Vicestone's maybe going to get a couple of shots into Happiness. At best, he can survive 2 shells from him, so you know, if he can outplay him, maybe get the first shot. Yeah, no, it's not happening here at all. He's down and out, and so is the Meltdown, guys. It is 3 and 10, 3 and 2 even. Still in the favour of Meltdown, but a very, very... That was probably the best performance we've seen from B Gaming.
That was good. Look, that was good. We talked about so much the fact that they're not going to be looking too good on Prokhorovka, but then we see them on Mines. Yeah. Mines, for me, even with the new B Gaming that is really weak, Mines is a different story, because I still don't mind them at Mines.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if we're going to see a 2-0 here, though, on Mines. I feel like that's probably giving a little bit too much to B Gaming the way they've been playing this season. But that Meltdown didn't look very comfortable at all.
No. Meltdown really didn't look too comfortable. I think... Yeah, they should have just gone for the hill push, honestly, Meltdown. And when you're against an arty like that and the grill, you know the grill's going to be sitting there. It was weird where Meltdown put their grill way too far forward, in my opinion. The T49 didn't get any spots. It wasn't set up for spotting. It didn't have coded optics at all. I think if they're going to do that hill, that coastal push rather, something like an RE251 is a much better idea than the T49, because the whole purpose of the T49 is to deny the hill, is to get a shot onto the side of any bat chats coming up there. And if you just send it down the coast and like its gun isn't going to hit anything, like...
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Meltdown explore the map a little bit more there. They didn't really have any control of the hill. They didn't even look towards the northern part of the map at all. There was no boost coming out from them on the attacking side. You know, that's tended to be a linchpin, really, for a lot of the teams so far this season. And they just didn't give that a look in at all. They kind of were like, okay, we want to go for this flank capture. Okay, that's going to work. And, it didn't work out, so...
No. Oh, well, let's take a look at the post-game stats for that one to see who was on top for both of these teams. And Otori actually up the top for B Gaming with 113 damage. And Yusashan Power in that grill dealing 2.4k, staying up the top in the average damage down, or at least near the top. Mr. Batchat is still back. 2.1k damage for Vicestone there after 8 shots fired.
Yeah, nothing too crazy out there. Wondering where the Meltdown Grill 15 is, because that's obviously a lot of damage missing. He did go down relatively early on in the piece, but certainly not getting enough damage out if you're going to be picking that kind of a tank. And, well, not even a single shot worth of damage.
Yeah, is not ideal. So, down the bottom there, Blast in that grill, 0 damage dealt. That is really, really, really pretty bad for Blast. You do not want to be dealing 0 damage in a grill. And I mean, you can't completely blame him, because his team didn't get many spots off for him to actually deal damage. You know, grill relies on the spots of the other tanks on his team. Yep. But still, at the end of the day, you can probably find a shot or two, which he didn't.
Well, now what's the plan here really for Meltdown? They're moving over to the defensive side. They've had a pretty shocking defeat on the first half of Mines. I don't know how they're going to be feeling about this one heading into the second half.
Tricky to see what Meltdown will be bringing out here on the second half. I think probably a little bit more standard stuff. Maybe they're going to be going the grill again on the defense. Bat chats, obviously. Are they going to pick a 113? Are they going to pick maybe a Kranwagen for the hill? Could work. If they want to rush the hill, we might just see bat chats and TVPs. You know?
Well, yeah, look, Meltdown have a reasonable run on the Mines defense so far this season. It hasn't been too bad for them, so wouldn't be too surprised to see them picking up the second half here. But, I mean, in reality, they haven't looked that great in this matchup on Mines. So I wonder if B Gaming have figured them out a little bit, you know, some of that Season 1 Mines expertise pulling through maybe for B Gaming, something like that.
Maybe. Well, I think they've definitely still retained a little bit of their Season 1 Mines expertise, as we're going to call it. They did show it there. They had some great defensive spots. Maybe they've been practicing it a little bit this week. I think it is going to be a B Gaming pick, I would assume, Mines.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't see a area where Meltdown would actually pick Mines. They haven't looked amazingly confident on it. Just looking at their stats here, I think on Mines, on the defense, they're actually on over 70% win rate. So attack, not so good. Defense, they're pretty decent on.
Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter really who picks the map. In the end, you just have to win the rounds, and that's what's important here for both of these teams. Meltdown, if they let this one get too much closer, I think they're going to be pretty disappointed with how things have gone tonight. You know, they would have come into this one thinking, okay, B Gaming maybe is going to be a little bit of an easier game than what we would have, you know, otherwise had to go up against, say, like against Team Efficiency or Karen Tiger or Horseman. Obviously, B Gaming not up in that echelon at the moment, but so far, the B Gaming guys are definitely giving Meltdown a run for their money.
Yeah. Absolutely. B Gaming here, they're honestly putting up a bigger fight than I thought they would. I thought this potentially could end up in a 5-0. But anyways, let's take a look at the tanks here for our next half on Mines. See what B Gaming and Meltdown are bringing to battle it out against each other. It will be a fairly fast lineup there from B Gaming. Going to be going with a TVP, a T50, as well as lots of bat chats, and then some heavies, a 113 and that WZ111.
All right, so I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out to me that's anything too far left field here for either team. It's a fairly quick-looking sort of a setup here for Meltdown. I wonder if they'll contest the hill. Similar sort of a setup for B Gaming when you really look at it. They could contest the hill as well here. I hope we see a bit of a hill fight. I love the hill fights on Mines.
Yeah. So, let's take a look and find out where both of these teams will be rolling out to. Will be Happiness there in the Batchat 25T, spotting out Pang Pang nice and early on. Pang Pang's in a little bit of trouble, so...
Ooh. Yeah, Pang Pang definitely is not in
but look at this. They're doing the EL in the meantime. Up on the other side of the Mines, Pathfinder and Vicetone are pushing up.
Blast and Cry as well.
Yeah, Blast and Cry as well.
Oh, this is a great angle for Vicetone. Excellent couple of shots. He should get in here. Nope, just one. Tiltimatil, though, losing a little bit of HP early on in the piece. We're going to see an aggressive push, though, from Meltdown. Pang Pang, he is going to get taken down, and now it's up to Meltdown to trade this one out. They need to get some damage across. They need to make it worthwhile. Blast taking damage as well, but B Gaming, look at the health. It's all spread out for them, and Meltdown just are not focus firing as well as they need to be. Cry's already gone down. Blast very low. I can see this one going pretty well for B Gaming at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not minding what's happening here for B Gaming. Meltdown have just taken down their first tag, but B Gaming very much still in the lead in terms of damage, and I think Meltdown have just emptied their clips. Yep, we can see Pathfinder, Vicetone, and Momo7 all in those auto loaders, all reloading, and Otori's still in a decent position here in that 113. He's got a wild reload, and now these tanks on the coast here from B Gaming, they're going to be pushing up pretty soon as well. We can see Tacky with that clip reloaded.
Well, some of it. At least he's got 3 shells left in the clip and enough to do a fair bit of damage, that's for sure. Meltdown do have a bit of a HP advantage here, but I don't know how much longer that's going to be lasting. They don't have the gun in the game that that B Gaming, does. They have a tank disadvantage, and it could soon be being even more of a tank disadvantage if Blast isn't careful. Though Vicetone able to take down Otori. We're back to a 5v5, and now suddenly things starting to swing back the way of Meltdown. They have the HP, they have even tanks, and they have a pretty decent positioning as well here.
Yeah, this is looking like a good little turnaround here for the guys on Meltdown. But just like that, Pink Pig has just been taken down. Pathfinder almost going down as well.
It's really backwards and forwards. Again, this time it's B Gaming who've got the health advantage. So it's been one way and it's been the other way, and now it's back to B Gaming. It's looking like B Gaming should be the ones now who have the advantage in this one. Still hard to call. It could go either way.
Yeah, yeah.
But B Gaming with that extra tank on the field should have enough damage to deal to the rest of these Meltdown guys. Maybe if, you know, Pathfinder and Blast can play this one well, snipe in those bat chats and use the Kranvagen and Vicetone to actually soak up a bit of damage, then maybe there's something in it here for Meltdown. But certainly B Gaming have probably got a bit of an easier time of this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. With 5 tanks left on the field, I think that Kranvagen, their Meltdowns in Momo 7 is going to have to play a big role here in this one. The issue now, though, for B Gaming is that they're actually on the attack, and they don't really have a good flag to start to get the pressure on. They can't really get on the 1 flag without exposing themselves. Can't really get on the 2 flag, because that's what Meltdown are set to defend.
Well, there's a potential kill for Colin there. Great night, a little flick shot coming out from him. Vertical stabilizer coming into effect in that one for sure, and that is a pretty big mistake from Meltdown, losing a tank like that in a situation like this. You just can't afford that, and that's really going to give B Gaming just another little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, this is very, very bad here for... Oh, no. 3 damage going into Momo 7 as well.
Yep, no
3,
problems here for Yusa Power. He misses
4.
the 3rd shot, but he gets 3 out of 4, and that's more than enough damage. Have a look at the equipment, the crew and the modules there for Momo as well. He's not in a good place, and nor is the rest of Meltdown in reality. B Gaming pulling that one back with a 2-0 from the looks of things here. There it is, 2-0 on Mines. It's 3-3.
There we go. There we go. I did not expect to see this match at a 3-3 at any point in time, Jordan, I'm afraid. But good on B Gaming for actually pulling it back a little bit and evening out the score here on Mines. I guess Meltdown, really not a great map for them. And I thought in the picks and bans that obviously thought that Meltdown had vetoed out Mines. Thought it was a great idea. Not to be, and that's what happens when you don't veto out Mines against B Gaming, even if it is new B Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, that looked a lot better on Mines there for B Gaming than it did even on Ruinberg or even Prokhorovka, to be honest. So, sorry, Ruinberg, yeah, or Prokhorovka. But look, it's still not 100% there. Like, it wasn't perfect for B Gaming, but it was good enough that it felt comfortable, both of those rounds. So I think that that one there on Mines has given me a little bit more confidence here for B Gaming, though I'm still not sure I'm going to pull them through for a win here. At least they've been able to get some good rounds off some of the good teams.
100%. Yeah, Meltdown is not a bad team, and also for them to actually be able to pick that one up 2-0 on Mines, they've obviously showed that they've still got it to some extent. But B Gaming now, their real key is going to be trying to obviously first draw it out to a tiebreaker and then see if they can win that tiebreaker, because I don't really think that we're going to be seeing a 5-3 from B Gaming.
Yeah.
It's a bit,
Oh, well,
stretch.
I mean, we've got plenty more rounds coming up after this one, but we'll have a look at the post-battle stats for that one. Shinozakit and Yusa Power up the top for B Gaming, but really it was Pathfinder, Vicetone, Pink Pig, the ones we want to look at here, because, you know, they're the only ones for Meltdown up in the top 7, and, you know, even the damage that they got out, I mean, Pathfinder's pretty reasonable, Vicetone's pretty reasonable as well, but Pink Pig is where you start to think, okay, we need to see a little bit more damage from these guys.
Yeah. Pink Pig down there, 7th on 1,750 damage. Really would be liking to see a lot more from him. And, well, I mean, shout out to Shinozakit. He's not always been at the top of the scoreboard for B Gaming, so when he does, it's a bit of a rare occurrence. Matil still in that TVP T50. Dealing only 900 damage. Cry in the bat chat, though, dealing 0 damage. And yeah, I'm not too sure what went wrong for Meltdown there on their kind of reverse push.
Well, yeah, like, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, Cry, 0 damage dealt, and Meltdown were the ones pushing for the fight there. You could probably understand it if Meltdown had got rushed, if Cry got singled out there by B Gaming early on or something like that, but it was Meltdown that was trying to push these aggressive maneuvers, and when you're doing that, you should have a little bit more of an opportunity. You catch your opponent off guard, so to speak. There should be at least 1 or 2 shells coming out from Cry that actually connect, and, you know, there's a lot of missing damage for him, and it's come back and hurt Meltdown a little bit there. Back to a 3-3, obviously, after the first 3 maps. And now moving on to Himmelsdorf. We already kind of talked a little bit about that one before Mines. I felt it was kind of going to be more of a 1-1. You thought maybe it was going to be a bit of a 2-0 for Meltdown.
2-0. B-Gaming aren't playing too badly at the moment, though. Yeah. So my 2-0 prediction, I'm not too sure on whether that will actually come true or not. But I think B-Gaming, they have the potential to make this 1-1. But Meltdown here, I still think that they're very familiar with Himmelsdorf. B-Gaming haven't actually shown that they can win too much on Himmelsdorf this season. So for that reason, I'm going to be sticking with my prediction. I do think it's going to be 2-0 to the guys from Meltdown. But we'll have to wait and see what tanks they lock in as well. Maybe B-Gaming will throw a bit of a curveball in. Maybe we'll see something like Mausers, FE4005s, 183s, who knows.
I'm not expecting anything too crazy out of B-Gaming here. Certainly would be surprised to see a couple of Mausers coming out here on Himmelsdorf. Maybe a 4005, but nothing too much more crazy than that. Yeah, when I think about these two, like the way that B-Gaming looked there on Mines, it certainly, you know, they feel like they can probably compete with Meltdown here. And I just feel like I find it a little bit hard to believe that Meltdown's going to be able to 2-0 this one. Of course, it is possible. Both these teams, as you said, should be very comfortable with this map. It was the most played map last season in the WGL, so they've had a lot of practice on it. Obviously, they have had changes in their lineups, but a lot of these players are going to be very familiar with Himmelsdorf. It is one of the most played maps in pubs as well, you know, so everyone knows how to play Himmelsdorf, and it just comes down to who's going to be able to do it better on the night here. Important one for Meltdown here, I think. They need to be able to probably 2-0 this. If they let this go to a tiebreaker, they probably haven't done their job well enough.
No. There's no reason that this needs to go to a tiebreaker for Meltdown at all. It should be a 5-3. I think they're going to be very disappointed if they don't manage to make it out to a 5-3. But B-Gaming here, they're not making it easy for them, like you said, and we may very well see some a bit of a turnaround and a bit of a missed prediction from all of us, because we've all picked the Meltdown, you know, would 5-3 B-Gaming. So you're still
in the running,
in the money. 5-1 and Max has picked 5-1 as well.
Yeah.
So well, I actually honestly thought that if we saw Prokhorovka as that map instead of Mines, the 5-1 could have come true. But then we saw Mines. It was like, oh, okay, well, not going to happen.
Well, anyway, I guess we're going to have to find out whether or not I'm going to be correct. If any of us are going to be correct, really, because if B-Gaming pulls this one through with a 2-0, then who knows what could happen. I find that a little bit unlikely. I don't think they're good enough on the defensive side of Himmelsdorf to really get a whole lot from that one. So I'm predicting a 1-1 best case scenario for B-Gaming on this one.
Best case.
Potential for a 2-0 for Meltdown.
Okay. Well, there you go. I think we'll just have to wait and see. But first off, of course, we have to have a little bit of a think about what tanks these guys are going to pick. You know, are we going to be seeing something different here from Meltdown? Maybe they'll pick an FE4005 and FE215B183. Have been known to in the past. Maybe Blast could jump on one of those tier 10 British tank destroyers. I'm not sure. But the guys from B-Gaming, a little bit more standard. We're probably just going to be seeing some of the more standard stuff out of them.
Yeah.
Heavies, maybe a few AMX 50Bs, maybe a Batchat up on the hill, Grill up on the hill even, if they're on the attack.
Yeah, I think there's a good possibility of having a grill here for B-Gaming. User Power has been doing pretty good work in that vehicle, obviously, throughout this season, really, for B-Gaming. But I think the other sure thing, really, for Meltdown, on the other hand, is that we're probably going to be seeing a Batchat come out for them. Vicetone, generally speaking, we find him in a Batchat, or at the very least a Batchat AP here on Himmelsdorf. So it depends on what kind of strategy Meltdown want to run here. But there's always that sort of thing in the back of their mind, that they always want to have Vicetone in the Batchat.
Absolutely. So here we are, Himmelsdorf. Of course, it is a very close quarters city map. Lots of little city corners for brawling that you can trade in and out of. There is the banana line and the hill, which offer pretty valid pushing opportunities for both of those teams, as well as the rail yard, which occasionally we do see trying for a cap victory over there as well. But let's take a look and see what tanks both of these teams are going to be locking in.
Oh, there is the 4005 for B-Gaming, and lots of squishy targets. Double 1390 from Meltdown. I don't think we're seeing that. It's probably going to be just maybe an extra Batchat. I would probably prefer to see an extra 50B in there.
It'd probably be an extra 50B
yeah.
There for Meltdown, but overall, pretty solid. I think B-Gaming there with that FE4005, I do really like that. That's going to be able to go through anything on Meltdown. So just looking at that, I mean, it's not undoable here for B Gaming. Just looking at these tank picks, they've got a good amount of damage, a good amount of burst, a little bit of tankiness in the IS-7 and the 113. Tankiness.
A 4005 on the attack here, though, for B Gaming. That is a little bit interesting. Okay, so it's 350Bs, a couple of 113s there for Meltdown. So that's a much more well-rounded looking lineup than what they had in the pre-game graphic. So I do like that setup a little bit better for Meltdown, though even still, it's a nice setup to go up against in that 4005 for Yusashan Power. So if he can pull off a nice couple of shots here, it's definitely doable for B Gaming.
Sure is. Let's see Muller here. Yeah, MX1390, see whether he can make anything work. Does get a good spot on towards Vicetone. So, B Gaming, you got to know that there's at least one bat chat from Meltdown guarding out that 0 line, potentially more. B Gaming at the moment just heading towards a 1 flag, which is interesting. I think that could be a good position to head towards with their lineup. The FE4005 will do quite well down the 1-2-3 line. And
yeah, it will. Really want to see where the guys on B Gaming are going to sort of put this 4005, because that's kind of such an important part of this push. You know, you don't pick a 4005 and then think, oh, you know, we don't need to do too much damage with it. He needs to be hitting, you know, probably 2 penetrating shots here at least. Crippling a 50B or crippling 2 50Bs and a 113, you know, something like that. He needs to get the damage across.
Yeah. 100%. So, right now, I'm not really liking Meltdown's defensive setup. He's very focused near that banana line down the 8 line. You do see pink pig there from the view of a townsperson. Still living there in Hillsdorf.
Still living in Himmelsdorf, cowering in their building.
Yeah.
The building which is looking very, very worse for wear. Still though, we're seeing B Gaming push forward here. Happiness did take a shot as he pushed forward towards sort of like that E1 area. Otori's actually pushed quite far forward too in the 113. We're seeing the rest of the B Gaming guys join this sort of aggressive stance. Pang Pang takes a shot on the cross. Not too great of a start there for Meltdown. And Yusashan Power, he's going to be a key part of this setup for B Gaming, finding himself just looking down that 3 line.
Yeah, there we go. So Pang Pang there in the MX1390 just gets set on fire. See you later, Pang Pang. You've just been done by Happiness. Great little shot there from Mr. Happiness, and that's why we take fire extinguishers, folks. Oh.
Well, if they track Otori there, which I think they might have done, it could have worked out nicely for him, but in the end, he doesn't actually take any damage, and he's going to get out of there all right. Trouble is now, these 50Bs and the 113 are not going to be able to cross without taking at least 1 shot from that 4005. So B Gaming have set this one up pretty nicely. Over on the other side of the map, you can see Vicetone desperately trying to chase down Muller. If he can take Muller out and get around the back, maybe behind Yusashan Power, obviously there is the backup of Taki in there, but you know, he could cause a bit of a ruckus, allow his heavies to cross that front, but yeah, this is a lot of things are going to have to go right for Meltdown if they're going to want to pull off a win here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Meltdown here, well, they're not looking too strong early on. Otori is doing a great job in this 113. He's taken so many shots, ricocheted so many against these AMX 50Bs in the 113, but I think his time has finally come.
Interesting that Momo's not particularly interested in him. He's probably going to have to turn around because I think those 50Bs are on the reload, and it's going to allow Otori another free shot. That's a bit of a mistake from Meltdown. Momo should have been able to take down Otori easily.
Ricochet.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's not worked out too nicely at all for Meltdown, and they've just allowed Otori to survive there for, well, for free, really. Like, he should have died. 100% should have died, and now Meltdown do have a real struggle to get back into this one. At least able to take down Happiness in the bat chat, but again, Meltdown, their focus fire has not been quite there. Yusashan Power in the 4005 having some difficulties on the other side of the map there with Vicetone. You can see towards the back of the screen, but really it's all going B Gaming's way here on the attack.
Oh, Yusashan Power did end up taking Vicetone down from almost full HP as well, so even that, Vicetone not being able to take out a 274 HP FE4005. Unfortunately, that can be the way the tracks fall off sometimes, Jordan.
Bit more salt in the wounds.
Bit more salt in the wounds. They are well seasoned at this point. And 20 seconds left on the cap. It's not going to be needed because Blast has just gone down. And suddenly we are looking at a B Gaming victory against Meltdown.
Well, I did say I think B Gaming can pull off the attacking side. For me, the real struggle for them is going to be on the defensive side. So it's all well and good to say potential, yeah, for the B Gaming win, and it is definitely a potential here if Meltdown go bottoms up and just do something crazy on their own attacking side. But I think we're going to really have to watch what B Gaming is going to do here on the defense.
Well, it's up to them, I think. And yeah, you're right. They don't have a very good statistics on the defense there here on Himmelsdorf, but yeah, some big mistakes there from Meltdown. I think that 113 that lived for so long, right from the get-go. There was a shot that should have gone into him, hit his tracks. There was a ricochet. Maybe one shot went in, ricochet. A couple of shots went in. They left him alive on one shot from death, and that 113 of Meltdown just got so cocky, not even bothering to finish off the B Gaming 113. And that was pretty poor play.
Someone must have called, I have this shot, I can take him down, and maybe one of the 50Bs bounce their final shot or something like that. But, I'm always kind of the opinion that you need to be playing it safer, I suppose. It's always going to be much more worth you still staying alive and maybe wasting an extra shell than taking that risk and leaving your opponent alive, and then they can come around and bite you in the back.
Exactly, because the potential delta from that is, you use an extra shell, that's 400 damage you could have shot somewhere else. But if you don't use an extra shell and then, the other guy shoots you, then you've just taken 400 damage. He's dealt 400 for a delta of 800, and maybe deals some more. So
if you're still alive, you're always able to still keep doing damage.
Exactly.
But if you're if you're dead because you haven't killed the other guy because you thought someone else was going to get him, well, then sorry, but you're not doing any more damage. So I'd rather go for the safe option there. Meltdown obviously having a bit of a lack of that, I suppose, in that situation. It did hurt them. I'm not sure if they would have won anyway, even if they had taken him down. But let's look at the replays here and see whether or not that will shed some light.
Okay, well, it certainly shed some fire onto Pang Pang's tank.
Bit unlucky for Pang Pang there, in all honesty, to get set on fire.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he was running with either. Probably want to... I mean, I suppose a fire extinguisher doesn't come in too much with the AMX 1390s because they just get obliterated anyway, but that situation it would have been nice. And yeah, here, look, this Meltdown getting obliterated. Not really much to do with it, and even Vicetone getting owned by the FV4005.
And it was Otori that wasn't taken down by those 50Bs, and it's Otori that's done the second top damage for B Gaming.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy. With Yusishan Power in the FV4005 actually scoring up in that top 7 with over 2,000 damage after only 2 shots in that one.
That's what we said. We needed to see him get a couple of good shots off, and he did.
Yep. One of them was about a 1,600 damage kill shot on towards Mr. Vicetone.
Oh, Vicetone only getting
who
one
dealt
shot
0 damage. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you're in a bat chat against a competent FV4005 player.
Yes.
And look, I'll be the first one to say that AP is great on the FV4005, but against a team like that, it's full hash.
Hash all the way.
Hash all the way.
Yeah, especially when you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, yes, the dream.
So,
I love that. I love when I had my press account and I could just load up the 183 and fill it with hash.
You're a bad person, Alex.
Jump in any game.
Anyway, yeah, this is starting to heat up a little bit here. Meltdown, we expected them to come into this one as the favourites, and, well, they haven't really shown it. It looked okay for them early on in the piece. They were up, 3-1 after the first couple of maps, but B Gaming has really staged a very nice comeback here. Even to bring it to the tiebreaker against Meltdown, I think is a good result for B Gaming, given the position that they're in. But now, the fact that they've got the opportunity to close this one out, they really need to be able to do that. Because they didn't pick up the win yesterday against Coalition Zoo, and we thought that was what they needed to do. If they can come out with that out of this week with 2 wins and a tiebreaker loss, they'll probably be pretty happy with themselves. But if they only get 1 win and 2 tiebreaker losses, it's still not great.
Still not ideal, is it? No, not at all. So, well, for Meltdown's sake, I hope they can turn it around a little bit here and stop the B Gaming kind of hype train that is heading out of the station. It's probably at about the 3rd stop by now, because it's won 3 games, and I don't know. The second half on Himmelsdorf, I really would have preferred, for Meltdown's sake, if we were playing on Prokhorovka right now, because Himmelsdorf is not really the sort of map which they I don't know, they feel super comfortable on.
No, well, we've already seen Prokhorovka tonight, so not going to be coming out in the map pool. If we do get to the final map, if we get to the tiebreaker, it will be steps. So we haven't seen that yet tonight. We did see a lot of tiebreakers last night, so maybe tonight is that fourth tiebreaker that we were looking for from last night. It's just gone missing. It's come out tonight, and the 5-0 that was from last night should have probably been slotted in tonight.
Yeah.
For the consistency of things.
I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have been able to talk if there was another tiebreaker last night in place of that 5.
No,
yeah.
I was definitely struggling towards the end there.
Yeah, I woke up today and I felt my voice and I almost couldn't hear it. So it's like, okay, it's time for the honey and lemon.
I'm glad you're back, Alex. I'm glad you're back. Otherwise, I'd have to be sitting here talking a lot of rubbish. You know, obviously we'd have Rogi as well giving me a bit of a hand, but
yeah, he talks rubbish as well.
Yeah, he talks rubbish as well. So it's not great having two of us sitting on here talking rubbish, is it?
No.
Well, not like
Twitch chat doesn't like it when we talk rubbish.
Not like you and I don't talk rubbish anyway most of the time. So maybe we're getting a bit too much on a tangent. Let's have a look back at the tanks that are going to come out for this next one. It's T110E3 for B Gaming on the defense and an email. So that's new.
Interesting. So B Gaming there with the email, the tier 8. Yeah, the tier 8 Swedish heavy tank. I'm not entirely sure what the logic behind that one is. From memory, it doesn't have an amazing gun, but well, we'll see how well they put it into use here on Hillsdorf. But yeah, not convinced from B Gaming. From memory, I mean, taking a look at the ML stats, it does have a tier 9 gun, only 242 mils of average penetration, so it's going to be able to go through the bat chat. It's going to be able to go through the AMX 50Bs. Actually, yeah, won't have too much of a hard time against Meltdown, so potentially could work. And of course, the ML1 does have that excellent turret. The Swedish heavies are known for 180 mils thick, so even it, being in tier 8, will probably ding a few.
Yeah, definitely can stand up to the tier 10 tanks if it's in a nice position. Meltdown for the moment haven't got too much map control. B Gaming really spreading across the map here, wanting to pull off the reverse sweep in a sense, almost. It's almost a reverse sweep if they can close this one out here. Certainly would be a good performance from them if they could. Blast starting off the match with a shell in his direction rather. He's going to be clipping as well, so a bit of a downtime here for Meltdown. I don't expect they're going to be pushing in for anything like too crazy when Blast is on the reload.
That's right. And Blast being on the reload, it's given Meltdown a little bit of extra time to think about maybe moving up the hill. We have got Mr. Pang Pang up the hill there, trying to get a few spots across in his AMX 1390. Meantime, Momo7's actually been spotted somehow, but he is now unspotted. And Muller in that hold-down position. I like that from B Gaming. Out of all of the spots, it's probably the best place to put the email. It's going to be able to get some nice resets on the cap if need be.
Definitely, definitely. So that's interesting. I think that's fair enough, sort of relegating it to be a reset tank.
Yep.
It is obviously a tier 8 tank, you know, so you don't want to put a tier 10 tank in that position when you can put a tier 8 tank in that position. It's kind of like a one and done position really, like you can't get out of there once you're in there if Meltdown are pushing into that 2 flank. So yeah, I don't mind that decision actually from B Gaming.
I don't mind that, yeah. And B Gaming, they're using the bad chat to scout as well, Happiness and Otori and Colin 1120 and Taki even pushed up very far with those heavies. We can see Shinozaka just looking down that D line with the big cannon of the T110E3. Pathfinder and crying those AMXs, getting ready for a bit of a push down that 0 line, which at the moment B Gaming do not have any tanks on.
B Gaming don't have any intel either that there's this push up the hill from Meltdown. Obviously the setup here from B Gaming is just going to be, you know, they're going to kind of have an idea of what's going on here for Meltdown because it's really the only place that Meltdown can go without being spotted.
Yeah.
And we can start to see, you know, some movement from B Gaming. Looks like a few of them are starting to rotate back towards the northern part of the map. So a good early rotate for B Gaming. They're not going to get caught out too much by, you know, the cap timer or anything like that. So Meltdown are going to be content with how this has worked out as well. They've got some pretty decent positioning in without taking too much damage. But now it comes down to really just the mechanics of this one.
Yeah. There we go, and B Gaming have to be careful that Taki and Otori don't try and do something clever here. It looks like Taki and Otori pushing down. Not too sure whether they're going to be trying to head up the banana line after, but they do have to hot-foot it a little bit. Because we are going to be seeing Meltdown coming almost all down off the hill. Vicestone and another bat chat. Actually going down there as well. Down that 0 line back towards their spawn. But right now, with that AMX 1390 on the cap, we have that 1 minute and 30 seconds left until Meltdown get that cap happening. So it's up to B Gaming to get those resets now.
Yep. Shouldn't be entirely too difficult to get the resets here. Oh, Colin loses his ammo rack. Of course, he's got a repair kit, so that'll be okay. And he's probably just going to be firing some HE shells in the direction of where he thinks that 1390 is. He is correct in his suspicions, but as of yet hasn't managed to connect a reset. I wonder if Muller in the email is going to be able to get an easy shot in that angle.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Oh, he's spotted out now as well. He's going to go for the reset by the looks of things. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Easiest resets of his life.
Yep.
Wasn't sure what the angle actually looked like, but that's pretty much the entire strategy of Meltdown falling apart there. They need to think of something else now.
And honestly, that is just great. Great play by B Gaming, putting the email there. If the email wasn't in that exact position, then he would have had a lot. B Gaming would have had a lot more trouble trying to get that reset onto the AMX 1390. But that is exactly what that position in A5 is designed for. Well played to Muller, well played to B Gaming for putting him there.
And Muller couldn't even, or wasn't even in a position there to take any sort of retaliation really from Meltdown. Like,
no.
they couldn't get a shot into him.
No,
so
that's it.
perfect.
That's why they go there. So,
and look at the map control now that B Gaming has got. They are really starting to starve Meltdown of any usable space. They've got control of the hill, but that's about it.
This is looking worrying for Meltdown right now.
Certainly is.
B Gaming starting to choke them off. And B Gaming are ready for any further pushes down the hill. They're all set up into some pretty good defensive positions. Pang Pang knows he can't get back on towards that 2 cap without being spotted out and easily reset by Mr. Muller.
Oh, this is not going to be good for Meltdown. Once that that heavy tank... Oh, it looks maybe they might just be a little bit lucky here. B Gaming, if they had have held that angle in towards the alleyway, they would have had probably a free kill onto the first heavy tank that popped his head around the corner. Now they're going to have to turn around. It looks like they might be outnumbered in this part of the map, but they need to get the early damage across. Shinozaka, in the meanwhile, does take down the 1390. This is not looking good. Pathfinder goes down, still with 2 shots left in his clip. Taki's got 3. He might actually go down here without firing his entire clip off.
Yep.
That's not too bad for Meltdown, but still, look at the health advantage that B Gaming possesses right now. Vicestone very low on HP. Utori is looking very comfortable right now, and I think, well, I think Meltdown are in a spot of bother.
Yes, a spot of bother might be underselling it a little bit there, Jordan, as Meltdown are going to be able to take out another member. Oh, sorry, B Gaming going to be able to take out another member of Meltdown, as Shinozaka now in a lot of trouble in this T110E3. Just needs one more shot that will clean up Momo. Very lucky ricochet there. Another one for Momo on the turret there. How is he still alive?
Still, it's a 4v3 here. Meltdown are definitely left reeling after that small passage of play, and they're kind of trapped really almost in a sense. Cry, of course, can get out of there, but Pink Pig and Momo don't really have much that they can do here. And the Emil of Muller is not having too many bothers with anything, really. No one's focusing him at the moment. He's got free shots into the back of the 113 of Pink Pig, and I think this is all over. I think Meltdown's going to be dropping to B Gaming.
Yeah, it's looking a lot like that, I guess. And Muller's been doing actually a fantastic job in this email here, really putting the pressure on, making that email's damage count. And Cry there in the AMX 50B, I don't think he's too long for this world. Even if he does get a clip, this 113 should be able to take him out. Pink Pig goes down, and just like that, it's going to be it for Meltdown. B Gaming taking them out without going to a tiebreaker.
That is surprising. I said it was going to be a 5-3, I thought it was going to be Meltdown.
Crazy, actually. I would never have picked B Gaming to actually take this one out.
No.
Particularly after seeing Meltdown 5-0 Dark Horse yesterday.
And Coalition Zoo beating B Gaming yesterday. I don't know. Put your hands up in the air.
Well, look, I think it's actually really good in general for our standings and the general league this season to have this sort of competition, because we would have thought that Meltdown could beat, B Gaming could beat Meltdown here.
No.
Obviously, there's other teams that are close to B Gaming now, so you know, by extrapolation, if TCZ can beat B Gaming, then potentially TCZ can beat Meltdown on one of their off days like that, because that was very, very convincing almost by B Gaming there on
Well, the latter half of it definitely
yeah.
was. They looked pretty poor in the early stages, but then they managed to pull off 4 in a row, and pretty easy win in the end, 5-3. They'll be happy with that. They'll be ecstatic with that. It's their first proper win of this season, getting the full 3 points out of that, which they so dearly needed.
They did. Look, this is phase 2. So I think if you're B Gaming, you can think, okay, well, it's phase 2 now. We can look forward. Let's do really well phase 2 and phase 3. We started off a little bit slow. Let's full steam ahead from here.
Yeah.
If you're B Gaming, so good news for their fans. Good news for them. They've got 3 points. Meltdown have 0, and now Meltdown are looking like a team that, I mean, quite shaky.
Really, they are looking quite shaky. You know, I was still kind of having them in my upper echelon. You know, like with Karen Tiger, Team Efficiency, Horseman.
Yeah.
And then I had Meltdown. But now I think I'm going to drop Meltdown out of that. I think it's Meltdown, B Gaming, Coalition Zoo, and Dark Wolves in the bottom 4.
In the lower
and
echelon,
I think those other 3 have kind of secured their position in the top 4, in my opinion.
Yep, I'd agree with you. I think, and we will be seeing some close matches in the bottom 4, though, apart from Dark Wolves. But let's take a look at the replays from that one and see how B Gaming managed to do it. This was, I don't know, Vicetone and Blast. Maybe they shouldn't have bothered pushing around there to Taki and just unloaded onto Happiness as soon as they saw him. It's always hard, but
yeah, like it's hard to kind of even follow this battle because there's one going on down here, there's one going on up towards the northern part of the map, and in the end it was just B Gaming to probably win both of them almost, it felt like. And obviously in that kind of situation it's not going to be too great for Meltdown. Good shot to end things here by Colin. And, well, there we go. Have a look at the battle stats. Yushishan Power, again, carrying the torch for B Gaming. It's been a very good night again for him tonight. I would be surprised to see him not being the top damage dealer overall for B Gaming tonight.
Yeah, Yushishan Power there, 3.2k. Very good effort from him. Otori with the 113, 2.9 thousand damage. Can't complain about that. Either Cry in the AMX 50B with 2.6k. Pig, we haven't really seen him do quite as much tonight, even though he's had a few good games. Vicetone, I think, came back in the early stages, but then fell off. And it is Himmelsdorf. I mean, Vicetone never does well in Himmelsdorf because he's in a bat chat.
1400 is, you know, it's not great, but it's almost every shot from his clip being hit.
Yeah, I suppose. So you can't really fault him. But Muller in the E1. Emil, fair effort from that, 1500.
Yeah, not too bad.
Six shots
Tier 9
fired.
tank, can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tier 8 tank.
Yeah, sorry, tier 8 tank, of course. It was the Emil 1, not the Emil 2. You know, we don't actually see the Emil 1 all that much.
Not at all, but I like that after seeing it on the Himmelsdorf defense, because what other tier 8 tank can you put in the hold down position that'll actually bounce shots? Not much.
Yeah, maybe the IS-3 if it gets lucky, has a pretty decent turret. But yeah, I agree. It's probably the best one for that sort of a position. Anyway, the way that B Gaming used it, it worked out quite nicely for them.
Absolutely. So congrats to B Gaming for taking out